Hi everyone. In this video, we will be talking about some other elements inside HTML which are em tag, strong, bold and italics. Let's see what are these. So let's create another boilerplate, a new file like this. Now to add any meaning to her text, right? You have often seen, right, some text written in bold, some text written in italicized font. So all of these things we have already seen. Let's see how we can write all those things inside HTML and how they add meaning to our text. So we already know how to create a paragraph now, right? So we can create it using p tag. Now suppose I want to add some content inside this, right? And I am saying like do not come late to class, right? Simple text. I have written a simple paragraph and let me run this. Now here if you see, right, it has come do not come late to the class. Now if I have to make any word, any text inside this as italics, we have some tag called as I tag. So I tag will change the text, whatever text you put inside any of these tags, it will make this text as italics. Now here also one more thing, if you notice, this is a paragraph text. Inside this paragraph tag I have nested this inner text. That means inside this tag I have added this another tag which is italics tag, and so inside this is a nested one. And when you say do not come late to the class and you are emphasizing that this should be written in the italicized font, then here if you see this has become as italicized, right? So I tag is used to make or to show any word or any text inside your web page as italics. Similarly, now we have another tag, like same thing. If I copy do not come late to class, right? And here if I emphasize and I just say wrap it with the em tag, instead of I tag I am wrapping it with the em tag like this, right? Now if you see do not come late to the class, again a not has become as italics format, right? It is looking like italics. Now what is the difference between this em tag and I tag? So I tag is making your font as italicized. Similarly em tag is also making your font as italicized. But em tag is also adding some extra meaning to your text. It is just adding some extra meaning, means it is just emphasizing, it is saying that this text is like I have to change, means it is bringing this text to reader's attention, and it is saying that basically it is emphasizing, it is adding some extra stress on this text. That means if some screen readers are reading your web page, when it will read this, it will emphasize this text, right? It will say, it will put some extra stress on this text. It will say do not come late to the class, do not come late to the class. It will emphasize this not word, right? It is adding some meaning also. On contrary, if someone reads this sentence, it will simply read simply like do not come late to the class. So not, and this I tag is used for adding the font, changing the font to italics, but it is not adding any meaning, right? For visual purposes it is making it look as italics, but it is not adding any meaning. But here it is adding an emphasis to your text. It is just saying, adding some importance to your text. It is just saying that it is, this text has to be put some more emphasis. If someone is reading out loud this complete text, it has to read this text in some other pitch, some higher pitch or some other pitch, so that this looks different. So this is the difference between italics and emphasis. So if you want to add some meaning also to your text, you should always use emphasis tag instead of adding the I tag. Similarly, we have, if you want to basically put anything or basically show that something, some important, some urgent text is there or something of great importance, and you want to bring attention of people to that thing, right? So you will use strong text. What is a strong now? Suppose if I say warning, be aware of this board, let's say, right? That means you're adding some warning and you want people to make understand that this is important, right? So you may add, right, you may make it look as bold, something like this, right? And you can bold this text so that people grabs the attention. This text grabs the attention that yes, this is bold. So because when you add b tag, it is bold, but it is adding simply visually, if someone will read, yes, it is bold. It is changing the content of the text to bold. right? But it is not, again, it is not adding any meaning to the text. So to add any meaning to the text, similarly we have another tag called as strong. So again, if I say be aware of this board, and again if I make this as strong, right, if I wrap it as strong like this, okay, so again, right, this looks as bold. So strong also, if you wrap some text in the strong element, it also makes the appearance of your text look as bold. It is also making it as bold. This is also making your text look as bold. But what is happening? This is also adding some meaning to the text. It is also adding some meaning to the text. That means warning, be aware of this board. So it is adding some strong importance. That means if screen readers are going to read your web page, they will know that this is something very important. On contrary, if screen readers are reading this text, they will simply read it, but they will not understand that there is something which is very important. With a strong element, it makes it clear that this is really some importance. So strong is adding some importance to the text, some seriousness, some urgency, that this text is urgent, this text is important. So it is adding some meaning to the text. But B and I are simply making it in on looking, like when you look at it, your text will become bold, but there is no additional meaning to it. When you add italics, it like your font has been changed to italics, but again there is no meaning to it. So nowadays it is always recommended, if there is some importance, if there is some meaning associated with anything, it's better to always use EM tags and strong tags. Okay, so we should always use this. And if there is no meaning and you want to make your text bold and italics, for that also it is recommended not to use B and I tags. Rather, we can style it using CSS. That we will see in the CSS class, how we can style these tags to make look bold and italics in CSS. But if you have to add meaning, you should always use EM tag and strong tag. Okay, so this is all about these tags in this video. I'll see you soon in next video. Bye bye.